Hey, looky here, folks. Hey, we got a little bucket here. Nice down bit of paparazzi. Okay. Secretary tadi na video. Here cows, come on girls, come on up. Here cows, come on.
You know, selling beef now is something that just says this is what we enjoy.
We never kind of take it for granted, you know, but knowing where your food came from, first of all, but knowing what that calf's been through since the second it was born to the second that it goes off.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, knowing everything that's ever been in it, that it hasn't been out here getting chased and
right.
You know what I mean? Every bit about it, stress, everything goes into that.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I love it. I love knowing where our food came from. We got that with I guess whenever we had kids, we started caring more about, you know, what we're feeding our kids.
Yeah.
And that's, I don't know.
It's a big deal now because you don't know what you're getting now.
No.
And that's a big deal to think about because health, especially right now, you know, I think about my health more and more all the time.
Sure.
You know, I'm not old, but I'm not a youngster either.
Yeah.
And so I want to enjoy my later years.
Sure.
Well, what am I feeding myself is going to depend on that.
Sure.
And you go in and you see the difference between what you get commercially and what you get locally.
It's daylight and
you
dark.
Cannot compare.
No.
You can't compare.
It doesn't look the same. It doesn't taste the same.
No.
Yeah.
And you can't, you know, and it's not apples to apples either because it does. It's not always price competitive to do that.
No.
But how can you put a price on health whenever it does make a difference in, you know, in your health side?
Sure.
On the health side of it.
Come on.
So, you know, one thing I think about when you're looking at all these farms and you don't have an opportunity, especially where we live, McCracken County, 5 miles south of Lone Oak, and you get a tract of ground as big of a footprint as what you got, you know, and I know this has been something that meant a lot to you because it came from a family of one generation after another of you sacrificing to keep it together, you know?
Yeah. I guess Dad's had this farm my whole life. This is where I grew up. Lord knows he's had chances to sell it or whatever,
Right.
but he's held on to it, thank goodness. And then we were able, me and Mandy bought the farm beside it the ice storm, about 09. We
Right.
bought that farm. And then we were fortunate enough to buy Grandma's farm 7 years ago. That added another 67 acres to us. So we just, starting at my driveway, it's all worth starting at my driveway all the way down. My great-grandpa bought that farm in 1895, so I've always thought that was awesome that his name was Stephen Worth. So it went from Stephen Worth in 1895 to Dennis Worth, and then 7 years ago, it's back in Stephen Worth. Yeah.
Isn't that cool?
Pretty cool, yeah.
That is awesome. And you think about it when you're doing stuff, and that's when I'm down at my granddad's farm, which I still call my granddad's farm. It was, you know, it's part of a farm that he left, that was left to us. I think about the stuff that was going on when my mom was a kid and she lived on the farm.
Sure.
You know, and when you're out here doing stuff, you got to think, in 1895, what was it like when they were out here doing what I'm doing today?
Yeah, they said my grandpa used to walk across this farm. The neighbor would have a hog killing, and they'd send my grandpa out whenever he was 5 years old to walk and tell all these neighbors that they were going to process hogs that day. Grandpa would walk before daylight. He'd walk farm to farm, tell everybody.
Kid.
So we've always told that. It's pretty cool that my grandpa walked this farm. Now my kids are running the farm.
Well,
you know?
yeah.
And now I'm getting to teach them the value of it. Now they understand, like my dad they got a chance to buy a subdivision across the street from us years ago, back in the 70s. And now I get to tell my kids that used to be a huge cattle farm. Well, they never knew that, you know.
Sure.
And they're like, well, why is there's houses on
Why
it?
is
You
there
know,
houses?
why are there houses? And so now they're starting to understand the importance, what it is to our family to keep it.
Oh,
you know,
gosh. I
keep
can't
cattle
imagine.
on it. But
And you know, you have to say something about Boulder Pine is something that has been in your family. When I say in your family, having cattle, you know, doing sheep, cattle, whatever it is, y'all have done everything. You know, now Boulder Pine is coming around now. You really got the cattle thing going good. But if everybody knew the truth is Claire and Caroline keep you straight on the cows.
Oh yeah.
So how old are they?
They're 10.
10.
Yeah.
Okay, now then, if you question something, what do?
I ask Claire and Caroline, absolutely.
Every
I ask
time.
them every single time. Yeah, they know. They know, yeah.
Wyatt has his place.
Oh yeah.
But Claire and Caroline,
yeah,
they're the bookkeepers. They're the ones that knows who belongs to who.
Yep. Yep.
And
they keep up with everything.
That cracks me up. Mandy, she knows as well as they do, but she just sits back and lets them watches them because she gets a kick out of it like we do.
Yeah.
But it amazes me because, like you said, it's just in them. They can't help it.
Yeah. They're right up with it. So I started. Dad talked me into buying bottle caps when I was 12 years old, and I saved up money and bought some bottle caps, and that's how we got started. You know, at that time, Dad just had a few cows. You know, as years go by, sometimes we've had as many as 330 here. We've had as little as 3. You know? I mean, we've been all through. But anyways, now the kids, they each of them own 2 cows apiece. They've each got a few calves apiece. So I think it's cool.
That is what,
starts teaching them.
Well,
about
what's
money.
cool is the fact you see how much they love it.
Oh, they love it. They're right up with it. Yeah. Absolutely.
And you got these cows with tags on them. They got numbers. And these cows will look exactly the same.
They're all black.
And before they see the number, they already know who it is.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just so funny.
They can tell you every one of their calves and who their calves were last year, and then whenever the calves go on the fat calf lot, they know them all the way from birth all the way to the end. I mean, they know them the whole time. Yeah.
And I feel stupid every time I'm around them. It's just easy. But anyway, now like right now especially, you start your day out kind of looking at them and seeing who's fixing the calf, who's calved, and all that kind of good stuff. But I think there was one the other day you made a comment about that just wasn't getting the first 24 hours that he needed to have. He started out just not knowing how to suck, and just those are things that you take for granted, that when they hit the ground, they're just going to go to nursing.
Sure. Every now and then you get one that we call them a dummy. They don't.
Yeah.
Just something ain't right, and they don't know how to nurse. So we spent all day Sunday, all day from 6:30 till 3:30, trying to teach the little rascal how to nurse. Uncle Bob finally got that done.
Uncle Bob come in and made it happen.
He made it happen, but we tried all day long just to get the poor little guy to nurse. But he's doing great now.
We call his Uncle Bob the calf whisperer. He won't admit to it, but he's about as good as they get when it comes to getting one to nurse.
Yeah. When
you have one that's struggling with it.
Yeah.
So
he showed up at the perfect time, and in 2 minutes' time, the calf started nursing. But
yeah,
we tried it for like 8 hours. But
it's another thing that I was thinking about too, rotation. Right now, everything looks 8, 8 down and all that kind of stuff. But as time goes on, in your setup, you've got it set up where you can move them around quite a bit. But a lot of times, it just seems like to me that if you don't have enough time to rotate, it depends on the summer we had. But last year, we had a ton of rain.
Oh, yeah.
But
last year, we probably rotated them 4 times, probably,
Yeah.
From big farm to big farm.
Right.
Not just field to field.
Right.
Yeah.
But everything held up good.
Yeah, we didn't have to start feeding hay till right at first of the year. We had a good, last year's.
Had a good push.
Year.
Yeah. I remember us thinking about that. So,
yeah.
A lot of factors goes into play. A lot of things you got to think about that you try to prepare for, but it don't matter. Mother Nature has her way, and that's what we got to adapt to.
Yep.
So.
You want me to give it a cut?
That is very helpful.
You getting my dog in all this?
Yeah.
Well, she needs to be in it. Look at her.
Yeah, we got to get Possum. Yeah. Possum.
Cracks me up that she's sitting there the whole time.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
You need to get me eating a hamburger.
Oh, yeah, yeah. We need to have some burger.
Yeah.
Oh, gosh, that would be awesome if we was up there grilling
That
burgers
wouldn't be
right
bad.
off the farm.
No,